Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and today, oops, where's my page? Today is day 14, The Bear and the Stars. But as I've been trying to do little tips and tricks, just kind of little things to kind of put into your repertoire, as they say, I thought I would again start out with a little tip that might get you willing to take another gander at the grand tableau, because I'm trying, people here, to ease your fear of the grand tableau, because it's not anything to be frightened of. It looks intimidating, but it's really not, because you're taking one, little pieces at a time. So let's go ahead and just quickly, what I want to show you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need to keep counting once I lay the first one now, do I? So I'm just laying this out, and I know I'm being neater than I need to be because I'm not going to be sitting there and reading this or photographing it, but it's just habit. So let's say we're laying our thing out because we're going to do a reading and we want to just see what the energy is going around us, right? Or whatever about the situation. So you could lay out all the cards like this. This is my Pixies Astounding that has been trimmed down to just the images. And so you could take this, which is quite a nice little, look at how much room I have around it. Loving it. And then you could just find yourself, and then I look to the corner and say, okay, it's about movement, it's about a journey, it's a long journey, and just start to read the cards right around me, and then you're done. Bam. I'm not going into everything. You're not going to go through this. You're not going to do your corners. You're not going to do your middle row. You're just going to look for your 9 card and do it. But then you want to condense all of this down into one message. So this is what I do at the end of like a full grand tableau. Once I'm done with everything that I'm going to do with it, I start with my significator and I take that card out and I set it down here. And then I start to count by 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back up here because we're going to finish. This is where we started. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then we're back where we started. And then you can just pick all these up because you don't need them anymore. You're done doing your grand tableau, and you're done, or you're done just looking at your 9 card. I got these probably all messed up, but oh, surely I did. We're just going to set those aside, and we're going to pull up our line, what has now become a line of 9. And with this, you take the middle card that forms, you've got 4 on either side, and then your 9th card in the middle becomes sort of the theme or of the message. I want to say that I got this from a Caitlin Matthews. More than likely, that's where, or else it was just random web pages. I've seen this probably in a couple different ways, but I kind of think it's also in Caitlin Matthews' Complete Lenormand. So you have your 9, it becomes a condensed message, but you're reading it from the outside by 2s, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, going towards the middle, but always keeping in mind the central message. So in this, the central message is the fox, which is pay attention. Something might be wrong, pay attention, and you may need to get advice, but pay attention to things. So we have happiness here for this woman, right? There's just the bouquets coming, an invitation. Good times are coming, but don't lose your your wariness. Make sure that you're still paying attention even though good things are happening, because there may be some burdens coming to your sense of well-being, and so we need to really be paying attention to the situation. We also have some clouds overshadowing work, so some work troubles that are coming up. That means that we really need to pay attention, right? And then we have some secrets or some knowledge that may be winding their way into or out of the situation, depending on what, a lot of this would be read depending on what I had just read in the whole grand tableau, right? You're going to kind of, this is kind of taking everything we figured out and it condenses it down into the 9 thing. But everything that we can see here, it is pointing to the fact that careful attention needs to be paid to all the choices. So if just quickly seeing this without having done the grand tableau or really going into this really deeply, in an overall picture, it would say to me, okay, you just need to really, in all of the choices that you make as you're moving forward over the next few months, you need to be paying careful attention. Don't make rash decisions. Don't make rash choices. Make sure that you're paying attention to your surroundings. If you've got to make a choice, are you looking everything over? Are you getting advice when needed? Pay attention to things. And then we, obviously these things would probably relate as we went to the actual grand tableau that we did. But it's a fantastic way. This is how I finalize almost all of my full grand tableaus. Now I'm just doing a quick one, but if I'm doing a full grand tableau, or sometimes even a quick one, it's a nice way to condense the whole grand tableau, condenses down into this message. Now you could also read it as a 9-card linear and sort of start with the woman in this, okay, let's read this linear pattern. But the way I read it and the way that just seems to have worked well for me is doing this 2 by 2, moving inwards to this focus card. And it generally, whatever ends up in the middle does end up being quite appropriate to the rest of the grand tableau. And it just seems to work quite well. So this is just another little tip for you to be able to try out if you've got a grand tableau out anyways, to practice just doing a 9 card so you can get comfortable with laying the cards down and get comfortable with not, don't be overwhelmed by it. Just find your significator and look at the cards around it and don't worry about the rest. It will start to get you used to the grand tableau. I know Mother Stars, Patrick's mother, has been, following along on the Lenormand and quite likes it, even though we haven't been able to get Patrick to come on the bandwagon. But his mom has, and I know she said in the last one I talked about, because she's still intimidated by the grand tableau. And it's understandable. It can be intimidating. But I think that if you kind of practice these laying it out and just looking at a 9 card, you're going to start getting comfortable, and it's going to be less overwhelming to have everything around so that you're focusing in on one section. Because when you're doing a grand tableau, you're often doing that. You're also kind of seeing how things, but that's down the road. But you are taking things in smaller chunks, and so getting comfortable with that is always going to be helpful for by the time we're at the end of all this and we're going to be working with the grand tableau, right? So once you do that, lay it out, look at your 9 card, and then do what I just did and count around and get this, and then you can just 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 get in and just kind of get this overarching message, a condensed message that the tableau had to say to you. So I thought I would put that out there as a little tip. But today's cards are, I said it, but the Bear and the Star. So, we've had a few days, right, of which some of the more difficult cards have, I wasn't even paying attention. Here's the Stars. And let's find the Bear. We've had some difficult cards. These are some pretty good cards, right? So here we have the Bear card, which is about strength, right? This is about strength. This is, let me get my little white book so we can see what you guys have on your handbook. Strong, supportive, and calm, and it generally, traditionally, it is to be a man for the most part. Somebody that is older often, somebody who is sometimes a boss or a mentor or something like that type of a figure. So very often we see that connotation. A lot of people don't, put that gender on, and I've certainly had it come up, not just being a man, but also being a strong woman. For me, it can just embody strength, and again, will depend on the cards that are around it, and the question, that might kind of let us know gender a little bit more. I don't tend to stick real strongly with gender rules other than the significators, but it's a strong, calming presence, mentory presence, somebody that's going to be helpful. Generally, that's what you're going to get with the bear card. And then the stars card is good fortune. It's your destiny. It's following your stars. It's guidance, because you've got a star to follow. So that idea of guidance and good fortune and destiny come in with the stars. And so when we have a strong person, well, what about the strong? What is a strong person who's following their destiny, right? And this one, kind of your guidance, you're going to follow your same kind of thing. You're following your stars. Where's that going to lead you to? It's going to lead you to strength and a strong character, and or a strong person is going to help you, guide you towards your destiny, help you it might even end up being that guide of a person that is going to bring you to your destiny. Again, I'm keeping these real simple because we're just trying to get the basic idea of these cards. But these are both positive cards. Well, I'm not saying they're positive. I think I've got to find my iPad cord. I don't have the only thing I have that's this flash. Oh, I do have a little bit of power left. 43. Yeah, I just told you my... So let's just see here if there's anything different. Power, protection. Now see, they do add envy in, which I don't generally think of the bear to do with envy, just in terms of my practice of reading. That doesn't generally come up. The bear is actually in the neutral category, so it doesn't really have a positive. It's a positive card, in my opinion. Strength is usually positive, but it's not a literal positive card. It's a neutral card. So it's about power, but it does say that power is good only for those who have it, so it can bring you enemies. But the progressed meaning is the bear often stands for a person, usually, now see, he says usually a woman, so that's interesting, Jamie. I've always heard of the bear as a male, so that's quite interesting to me, because a lot of people I have to say do come up with it as a woman. I kind of see it in both capacities, but he talks about usually as a woman. Most of the time this will be your mother, grandmother, an aunt, or etc. Unless bad cards are around you, the bear can rely on you. You can rely on this woman for aid, comfort, and support. This is Mr. Andy's book. So that's interesting, because I have always, let me see, do I have another? Oh, here, I have it in here. Let me look at the other one and then we'll go look. Because I want to say I've always heard of it as a male, and maybe I've just got that in my head before I was really studying things and stuck with it. But here we have the stars, which is about success, nighttime, north. It's a good luck card. Clear night full of twinkling stars. Never make camp under a starless sky, it says. The area normally bring benefits, often tangible but also emotional. Science and fortune telling. You could use this for the fortune telling. I'll be honest, I usually go to the moon for that. In terms of timing, it's nighttime, and in directions it would be the north, which certainly makes sense. But it's a good luck card. It's success, following the North Star, kind of following your guidance. But let me before my battery dies, because I'm so happy to actually see this about the bear. I really do like this book. And again, I know I keep calling him Mr. Andy, but that's just because I don't want to slaughter his name. It's Lenormand 36 Cards, an introduction to the Petite Lenormand by Andy Borevshnegra. I'm not sure. I don't want to slaughter it. So that's why I'm calling him Mr. Andy, not out of disrespect and not because I know him. So let's just be clear about that. Bear. There we go. Bear grows large with claws so strong. Bear represents power, strength, and resources. She can speak about your personal power as an individual and your resources and capital. Effect is neutral, strength, power, force, people, director, patron or matron, benefactor, boss, mother, grandmother, lawyer, judge, entrepreneur, an older woman. So it does have both male and female connotation. So I'm happy to see that because that's generally how I read it. So it's nice to be confirmed, right? Bear plus stars plus sun is a large supernova. So that's good. Okay, stars is fortunate, indicate things are clear and clean and blessed in their intent. It's about clarity. Of course, timing would be nighttime. So yeah. Okay, so this can be male or female, and generally a little bit more on the side of the female. So I'm happy to see that. Again, we always like to clarify how it actually turns up in our readings. It's nice to see that reinforced. So there we have it. The beautiful bear and the stars. These are great positive cards to have come up. What was the question for this? Who is the one person that has had the most influence on helping you move towards your destiny? Oh, that's a hard question that I asked, isn't it? I don't like questions that are the one person. You know, truthfully, because right now of where I am at in trying to follow my destiny, the one person that helped me move towards my destiny, number one, is actually myself. And I know that's going to sound silly or cheesy, but that's the truth of the matter. Getting myself to trust myself and getting to the place in which I trusted myself and thought enough of my skills and what I could do to take the risk to kind of put myself out there and start the Truth and Story and to start reading professionally. That was a big thing that is moving me onto my destiny, that I got myself to that position. So that's the truth. It's cheesy, but it's the truth. I do right now, the path that I'm on, following this destiny of, you know, reading cards professionally, of doing what I'm doing. It is a lot to do with myself, and that's a big thing for me, because I grew up, you know, with that sense of women certainly not being in the position to follow destinies, and not having a lot of self-confidence. And so to have the confidence to do this is actually a big deal. So I would say that. The other thing, when I'm just talking about this following my destiny in terms of the Truth and Story, I would definitely have to credit Kellyanne Maddox. I know all of us say that at one time or another, but that's the truth of the matter. I mean, I was reading cards long before I ever knew anything about Kellyanne Maddox, but seeing her strength and her confidence and seeing her path was a huge recognition. When I saw her, really started looking into her path, really started watching her teachings and watching her videos and just seeing her spirit, there was a recognition that, yeah, that's exactly what I want to be doing. Like, I can, why can't I have that same confidence that she exudes? It's not that she's always confident. I mean, she has her dark nights and her shadow times as well as anybody else, and she's very open about talking about that, which I think is what, you know, is so wonderful about her as an example. But I have to say that, you know, just in terms of timing, you know, when I found her and when I was starting to think about these things, like what I want to do with the rest of my life, having experienced a session with her, where it just had that idea that says, yeah, this is what I want to be doing. I want to be holding space. And it was because of her example of holding space that allowed me to just take that final step to say, why not? Just do it. I'm just going to do it. So I would say that. So I know I pick two. Every time there's like pick one of anything, I never just pick one. But there we have it. So I'll be interested to see people's answers to this question. And again, thank you all. I've just really been enjoying this. I feel it's so fun for me to see so much energy out there surrounding Lenormand. I just love it. I love that it's going on. It's really exciting. So there we have it. That was today's. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow.